Hey everyone, welcome back to another live stream here on Amazon.com and to any of our viewers who may be viewing elsewhere. But thank you for tuning in. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome. If you are a new viewer, we welcome you as well. I am Joe Capehart. I'm the Senior Technical Specialist here at Mevo, and I'm joined by
Will Kirkpatrick. I'm also a technical specialist here at Mevo, and we're happy to be here. We are answering your questions both here and in tickets.
Absolutely. We do welcome any kind of questions in the comments, so please feel free to put those in the comments. We have people monitoring those and getting those to us, so we can answer them here live, almost as if it was a one-on-one conversation. We're going to be going over a lot of different things today. We want to talk about the Mevo app, how you can connect it. Will's going to run us through how the various ways you can use it with Zoom. With the holiday season, we want to talk about how you can use it with recitals and cooking and things like that, so you can feel that connection, feel like you're still with family if you may not be able to actually do so in person. But before we get into all of that, we're going to jump into what we're using for today's production.
Yeah, so right now we are using 4 Mevo starts. Each Mevo start is connecting to its own power over Ethernet adapter. And we're using these for both stability reasons and to ensure the best quality. So let me give you a little tour. Here's our front wide shot. We've got Joe's camera over here. Got my camera. How you doing? And here's our overhead camera that we're going to use to show you different products.
And for our audio solution, we are using 2 Shure SM7Bs that are running into a mixer that goes out and goes directly into the back of the Mevo Starts 3.5mm audio input. For all of the overlays and things like that, it's being controlled by our producer, Andrew. He's going to be running Live Stream Studio, and he's going to be making sure that we're queued up for any kind of changes or making sure that we can show our iPad and show our screen. He's going to be controlling all of that behind the scenes. So please, like I mentioned, get your questions into the chat. We want to know, where are you viewing from? Any questions you have, me and Will are more than happy to answer those and address those live here today. It's probably the #1 opportunity to get those questions asked almost immediately. So definitely. Feel free to jump in and let us know your thoughts, feedback, everything. We're here. So let's go ahead and talk about what is the Mevo. So Mevo is the only all-in-one encompassing live streaming camera that can run wirelessly and wired. It has up to a 6-hour battery life. The Mevo Start has a 1080p sensor with an 84-degree field of view lens. And this really allows you to basically take a small handheld size camera and go live to any of your favorite production or any of your favorite platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter/Periscope, live stream, Vimeo, Twitch, LinkedIn, and then if your destination isn't supported directly into the app, you can use RTMP to go to those other destinations as well. So the Mevo Start has a fantastic lens, like I mentioned. It also has 3 internal microphones. These are a 3-microphone array with advanced audio processing from Fraunhofer, which gives you great internal audio, so you don't have to bring around any additional audio solutions. But if you want some advanced audio from a different solution, you can always use the input on the back. We have the 3.5mm audio input, which can accept line level and mic level inputs and get a full quality sound for you from maybe a mixer or a soundboard or something like that. We also have a USB-C input on the back, which allows you to use it as a webcam, but it also allows you to quick charge it. With the 6-hour battery life, the Mevo Start can quick charge from 0 to 80% in about an hour and a half. And then if you're trying to go all the way to 100%, that's going to take about 3 hours to accomplish to get that full 6-hour battery life. Below that, we have a micro SD card slot for a Class 10 micro SD card. The Mevo Start has the ability to provide you a full quality HD backup of your production. That way you don't have to worry about if there's any kind of bitrate issues or anything like that. You can always rely and know that you have a full quality of the production on your SD card, so your memories are safe with the Mevo Start. And then on the bottom of the Mevo Start, we have a multi-threaded adapter, which allows you to mount it on most microphone and camera stands. This right here that you're seeing is a 1/4-20, but if you remove this, you can flip it over or remove it entirely, and you'll get 2 other sizes that will allow you to mount it on most microphone or camera stands. So with that being said, the Mevo Start is available here on Amazon.com. We are running out of time for guaranteed delivery, so if you're trying to get your hands on one of these, you are going to have to, pull the trigger on that sooner than later to make sure that it's delivered before Christmas for you, your loved ones. I myself would probably get it for myself. Maybe for everyone in the family too, who knows. The Mevo Start allows you to get everyone online to stay connected through these tough times. So let's go ahead, get into the app and show you how powerful the Mevo Start is when you pair it up with the Mevo 2.0 app. And Will's gonna show us how we can get it connected with Zoom in various different ways to keep your family, friends, your community connected. So without further ado, let's jump on over to the app.
All right, so we've already connected to one of our Mevo Starts here using our iPad Pro. The app works on Android and iOS, tablets, and mobile phones. So right now, as you can see, we've got a few features turned on. I'm going to turn them off so I can kind of walk you through them. First, what you were just seeing with the circles around our faces, that is our Find Follow option, Find Faces, and Live Follow. And so this is really interesting. It will actually follow us and as we move around so that the camera can track the main action that's going on. It's a little bit tricky where Joe's face because he's getting kind of cut off. But
I was just about to say that I'm pretty impressed that it can actually identify that I'm here, considering I have this pole right in front of me, and you can see that it's still following me. That's pretty impressive. I've never really pushed this feature to see, if you can kind of confuse it. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, definitely. As you can see, it was doing the autopilot mode, which was selecting the shot that was going to be used. But you can also turn that off. And as you can see, I can just drag around and change the focus or by tapping, as well as adjusting the zoom level so that you get the very perfect shot that you want to get. And another thing that Joe often points out about this is really that you can have the camera just in one spot and really adjust for that perfect shot without having to move everything around, and that's a great advantage of being digital.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, one of the things you really want to do is, of course, you can adjust like micro adjustments like that within the app. So it doesn't have to be perfect, which the Mevo gives you that flexibility. Of course, you want to try to move it as close and accurate as possible without having to use that digital zoom. But it does allow you to make those slight changes. So like imagine, for example, we have the app here, and say I didn't want to show the stands over there. Oh, that's not a good example. I don't want to cut off Will's head. But say I don't want to show the whole entire, that microphone on the left. So I can just select this, and then the output, this is what the user's seeing. So you can make those micro adjustments within the app without having to physically go move the camera. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can make sure you can do that in the app directly, which is awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a unique thing. And while we do have this display up, if you're kind of confused with why audio might not be syncing perfectly with the iPad is being reflected or mirrored into a into the Mac computer I have next to me. So there's going to be some slight delay. If you're looking for audio synchronization, look at the bottom right. That feed is live, and that feed will be accurate as we're speaking. So the iPad itself will be a slight delay, but the bottom right should be perfectly in sync. So perfect. Now let's get back into it.
All right. So now I'm going to show you the 3 methods for connecting your Mevo Start to your computers to do Zoom calls or Google chat calls, and any of those programs that are on your computer. So first and foremost, we have our Mevo set up to the iMac, as Joe said, and so we're going to do and enable wired webcam mode. And as you can see, I went into settings, pressing wired webcam mode, and then I'm going to toggle it on. And now Joe can show you over in Zoom how to activate that.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump over to Zoom on the computer. Let me make sure. Nope, did I go the wrong way? I did. All right, so I have Zoom already up here. And once you go into your video settings, you'll see right here that the Mevo is already detected. So I can just tap on that, start my video, and it's going to populate. So the camera that he just configured in the iPad is already broadcasting through that USB using UVC, which most Macintosh or Windows computers come with by default. So you're able to just go ahead, plug it in, turn it on in the app, and then you'll hit the ground running. So let's go back over to, actually, we can just jump right into wireless, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and disable this, and I'm going to jump into the app again. Now, the reason we're going over all of these things is because the Mevo really gives you the flexibility to use it for this holiday season. So I know for myself, I won't be leaving New York to go home to Ohio where my family is. They're going to be opening up some gifts, and this is a perfect way for me to show them, hey, I'm opening up your gift, and you can get some live reactions. And I can see my nieces as well opening up gifts that I have sent to them since we won't be able to be together this season. We also seen some other really cool ways to use it with recitals, with those being canceled or a lot of them being basically only the performers and no actual viewership there. So this allows you to broadcast those lives for family and friends who wouldn't otherwise be able to see it. So being able to do this through Zoom allows everyone the ability to see this as we're going. So Leah says in the chat, love this, super helpful info. Thank you so much for tuning in. Glad we're giving you some helpful info. If you have any questions, let us know, and we'd be happy to cover that here live while we're at it. Mirko says, does this work with the older Mevo models as well? Absolutely. So the Mevo Plus and the Mevo First Gen, they do work with wired webcam and wireless webcam. There are some limitations that we list on our website, but for the most part, they do work. For wireless for Mac, right now, it works entirely. You get audio and everything. If you use wired, you won't get audio, but you will get video. So you have to use a different audio source if you're doing that. And then wireless, of course, is coming out for Windows as well. And I know everyone's pretty excited for that. So that's a great question. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let's jump back over to the computer and open up Zoom. And I'm going to show you what it looks like to actually connect to wireless webcam mode using your, technically you could use anything. We're using a Mevo Start since that's available here on Amazon.com. So on the top right, you'll see we have the wireless webcam mode or wireless webcam app installed. And you can see we have a lot of Mevo on this network. So as long as the Mevo is on the network, it's going to be able to see it. And a common misconception is it is called wireless webcam mode, but if you actually ran it via Ethernet, it would still populate here. As long as it's on the network, the app's going to be able to discover it. But here we've got the K86, which is the one that is running wirelessly right now. So if I select that, and then I can go back up and confirm that it is indeed selected, and then go down to my video source, and you'll see the same K86 wireless. And then I can start my video, and there we are. We're running wireless once again using the Mevo Start and the Mevo wireless webcam app, now available on Macintosh computers. I keep saying the whole name Macintosh. I'm going old
dating
school.
Yourself. Right.
So it is available on Mac computers right now. We are working on Windows. It looks like we have another comment. So Mevo team, what is about using your multicam app for streams like that? So the multicam app, you can absolutely use it, but you aren't going to be able to use it in this same kind of scenario where we're using wireless. You won't be able to use it with Zoom. The output doesn't go to Zoom. That is something we're considering moving forward, but you can absolutely use multiple Mevo right now using the Mevo Multicam app. It's available on our website. You can get a link to the group and just download that on both Android and Apple devices to get set up there. It allows you to use up to 3 Mevo at a time. Once again, I said Mevo, not Mevo Start. So you can use any of the Mevo. That's the Mevo First Gen, Mevo Plus, Mevo Start. You can use all of those right now, 3 of them at a time simultaneously. And it really allows you to have them set up. I know yesterday we had some community participation with one of our videos or live streams that we did. Someone shared their live stream of them cooking, and you can clearly tell that they're using a Mevo, and this would be a perfect time to use multiple Mevo. The one camera we noticed was a Mevo, was the head-on shot of the cook, and then they had a downward shot of the ingredients and all of the cutting board stuff going on. I'm not a cook, so I really can't speak on that. But this is a perfect way to use multiple Mevo. You can run them all on a mobile device. You don't need a computer whatsoever to do that. And as far as I'm aware, this is the only camera that allows you to do that on an app without any kind of extra hardware to tug around. So if you're just tuning in, welcome. Let us know where you're from. I'm Joe Capehart. I'm the Senior Technical
but located here in New York as we're going. Another great thing with wireless webcam mode, which we're on right now, is that you can kind of just bring it around as if you would just a normal video camera to unbox the presents. Yep. Show people around your house, show the decorations and all that kind of great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, people have really kind of taken tablets and phones, and you've got to change the direction that your camera's pointing. But with the Mevo, you can literally just, if you had like a gimbal, it'd be like super smooth. But as it stands, you can turn on the electronic stabilization. You can carry it around. You can show everyone who is in your room, like the whole family. You don't have to do too much. You can just really just kind of move it around yourself. Show everyone's there. Show all the cool events. Show what you guys are eating. I mean, anything to really connect with those you're not able to do so otherwise. So I know we had kind of an internal discussion about how everybody else was going to be using them here at Mevo. I know our producer Andrew had mentioned he's going to be basically doing a cooking experience with his friends or family, where they all get the same ingredients and they're all going to go and walk through this cooking experience together over Zoom. And I think that's a great thing. I think any way that you can really connect during this time is ideal, and luckily the Mevo Start allows you to do that in any platform that you're really wanting to use. Mevo Start's probably going to support it, including Zoom. If you don't use Zoom, Google Meets is supported. So the Mevo Start really allows you to stay connected. Of course, you can stay connected wirelessly with that 6-hour battery life. Really gives you that full flexibility. And then just a reminder, the Mevo Start, you are running out of time on Amazon.com to make sure you get that delivered before the holiday season is up. So make sure you go ahead and grab one of those, check out, and then make sure that will ensure you're getting it in time before the holiday. So once again, let us know where you're from. Make sure you get your questions in the chat. Me and Will are happy to answer those live here today. So let's get back over to the computer. There's one more way we want to show you how to connect your Mevo to Zoom. And this method is via NDI. So I guess we'll jump into the tablet first, because we got to show how to reconnect that. So let's get that reconnected here and go from there.
All right.
So we're going to go ahead and get reconnected to the tablet. Like I said, it's running wirelessly and reflecting onto the computer. There we go. We have it connected. So we'll jump over there, show you how to enable NDI. That way you can use NDI as a secondary option, or well, I guess really a third option. You've got wired webcam, wireless webcam, and then NDI. If you're a Windows user, this will also work for Windows. So now that we're in the app, let's go turn on NDI.
All right, so we're going to go back in the settings, tapping the 3 dots at the gear, and then as you can see, NDI mode. Now, if you have a slower network, you can lower the resolution down to 720 and down to 5 megabits per second, but we have a pretty beefy one here at the office, so we're going to stick with the 1080p.
There you go.
All right, so we'll enable that, and then we can quickly activate it really easily.
See if we can jump over to the computer real quick and zoom, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we actually get to select that. So let's go ahead and transition over to the computer and get that popped up here. So just giving Andrew a second. I know I'm making this a little complicated, so I apologize to him. We're making him work for it today, that's for sure. So now that we've got Zoom open on the computer, we are able to go to the top right, go to NDI, and you'll see that NDI is automatically detected. Once again, this kind of works like our wireless webcam mode. NDI is just a different protocol of way to transmit the video and audio. So as long as it's on the network and you have NewTek's package installed for NDI, you'll be able to detect it. So it automatically detects this Mevo is running on the network via NDI. It's selected. Now I can go down here to video and select NDI video and enable it. And once again, we're running via NDI and Zoom. So you can do this once again with Windows or Mac, and you can really use your Mevo. It gives you that flexibility. So we went over all the different ways to connect to Zoom, to stay connected with your family. Looks like we have some questions populating, which is awesome. Right. So let's go ahead and get into some of those. We have Derek says, after using the Mevo Start, does it provide more function than Mevo or the Mevo Plus? So basically, the Mevo Start has a lot of different things than the Mevo Plus. So we learned a lot from our previous generations, including the internal audio. Users really wanted improved audio, so we really went with the 3-microphone array with the advanced audio processing. So it's leaps and bounds ahead of where the Mevo Plus was with internal audio. We have a different sensor. The sensor is newer. It's not the 4K, but it is the 1080p. And if you actually put those side to side, you won't notice the difference. Even using the digital zoom, that start sensor is very competitive and looks great. And then on the back, of course, the Mevo Plus didn't have audio inputs directly on the camera. You needed additional accessories, which are discontinued at this point. But on the Mevo Start, we included that directly. You've got the 3.5 millimeter audio input. You have the USB-C. And then the USB-C brings me to the other point, is the battery life. The battery life of the Mevo Start has 6 hours compared to the 45 minutes to an hour. It also has quick charging capabilities, which the previous version didn't have. And then, of course, it has NDI, which the previous versions of the Mevo didn't have. Am I missing anything? I feel like there's a lot. I feel like every time we do this segment where people ask that question, I always have to try to go through the list. But no, so that, I mean, for the most part, that was basically everything that is different, that is extreme, like popping out to me. The apps are the same. There are some different functionalities, like I mentioned, NDI.
Recording and streaming.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the full quality backup, the Mevo Plus couldn't do, the Mevo first gen couldn't do. So yeah, you couldn't control your bit rate or anything like that, where you can with the Mevo Start as well. So Mevo Start really introduced a lot of different things. And I think previous Mevo users would say the same thing if they actually had a Mevo Start to play with. Yeah. So the next question, Masao says, how much video delay is there when connected to PC via webcam?
Let's see, via wired webcam, via wireless webcam, and NDI. I think that it would be the least amount of delay with wired webcam. I don't know about the exact amount, maybe a second.
Yeah, I don't even know. It's basically unnoticeable when you're doing wired.
Yeah. And
then of course for wireless and then NDI modes, that's very dependent on the network. Those are big variables on how quickly the Mevo is going to get the data delivered and then how quickly it's going to process. So very difficult to say for wireless options. However, for the wired option, it's not noticeable. We would have to really push the test, but if you're watching it with the naked eye and you're not putting a timer in front of it, you're not going to be able to tell there's any latency, which is awesome. So Samuel asks, I'm running 2 starts into NDI into TriCaster Mini. Nice. What is the best way to minimize the latency that I am showing? I have both cameras running into Ethernet. That's perfect. That was going to be my first suggestion. When I first started using them, there was barely a frame or 2 of latency. Now it is over a second. So one thing that you can really do, you're running Ethernet, which is huge. I would definitely check to see the settings on your modem, router, or switch, whatever you are configuring. We ran into some issues here personally, not like with specifically Mevo products, but a few of the different ways we were configuring things weren't ideal. When we removed actually one of our PoE switches, the speed of the Ethernet or the speed of the internet in general significantly improved. So try to go through a process of elimination. See if you can see if there's a specific culprit within your line of adapters or cables or switches and modems. See if any of those are playing any kind of parts in your network. And then if that's not the case, then maybe it's time to jump into the configuration itself and not necessarily the hardware, and see if there's anything that might be bogging down your network. If there's too much bandwidth being taken up by other devices, you can make sure that your Mevo are getting priority bandwidth. You can set like minimum bandwidth standards for at least that's pretty standard for most modems, routers. You can make sure that you're setting minimums for specific devices and prioritizing them. So those are a few things that you can do to double check. It sounds like if it is increasing over time, that there might have been another device or something that might be taking up some of that bandwidth. Great question. Definitely not one we get too often, so I enjoy getting some of the more complex questions. Unfortunately, some of the complex questions require a lot of trial and error to really kind of pinpoint where the error might be taking place. Ben says, I'm from rural Northeast Colorado. Never been.
Nice.
You ever been to Colorado?
I have. I don't know about Northeast. Denver, for sure.
I don't know. I'm terrible with geography.
Beautiful.
That's what I was going to say.
Though.
Colorado is beautiful, though, for sure. So I have a start permanently mounted and wired in our sanctuary and start set up in a makeshift studio in my office for weekly messages and for my podcast. Thanks for the great and advancing product. Thanks, Ben, for that. We appreciate that. We always love to hear great feedback, positive and negative. I mean, we really want to make sure that we are building the Mevo for our users, and feedback like that really allows us to do that. So if you have any suggestions or improvements that you would like to see in the Mevo app, Mevo Multicam app, or the Mevo in general, let us know. So that way we can make sure we're building our products for you. Nathaniel says, wireless with OBS. Do you have vids on setup configuration?
Well, I don't know if we have a specific video, but we definitely have a help article that goes through step-by-step on how to get that connected.
Yep, they took the video from you. The
right.
video for the live show we did a live show.
Oh yeah.
And it is embedded on our help center. So if you go to mevo.com, you can find our help center. And yeah, step by step, we have a video that takes you step by step. Mind you, it was an episode of a Mevo live episode.
Right.
So it wasn't directly step by step. There were some, commentary along the way with Nathan. Nathan was in that video as well. So it will walk you through there with video. But if you're looking for step by step, point 1, point 2, point 3, you can go down the list. We have supporting media for that as well. So you can get set up with OBS. Yeah, that's why I was like, you shot the video. So I was like, wait, you should know this. Yeah.
It's a good reason to watch all the shows, for sure.
Yeah, I only know because we're going to the help center and making sure everything's good to go. So we want to make sure that you have all of the information you need to get live. So George, is it George? Is that how you would pronounce that? Any insight would be great. George?
George.
I apologize. Let us know. I'm curious. Let us know. Thanks for the question. Are there the same possibilities for the Mevo Plus? So the Mevo Plus does allow wireless webcam and wired webcam. Like we mentioned earlier, there are some limitations for wired webcam. The wired webcam limitation is audio. We can't send audio from the Mevo Plus. Now this is just like a hardware restriction. Mind you, the Mevo Plus is it was designed 4 or 5 years ago at this point. So some of the hardware isn't going to be able to handle all of the things the Mevo Start can do, but we are always pushing our Mevo to the fullest extent. So just know if there is a limitation like this, it's typically going to be hardware and not a software thing. If we could introduce more things, we would. But the Mevo Plus, or the Mevo Start, mind you, the Mevo Start being newer with hardware and all the things that we've integrated, it's going to be able to handle everything that we throw at it at this point. So we're going to continue to improve that. So if you're looking for some specific Mevo Start features, you're probably going to have to get a Mevo Start. If the Mevo Plus doesn't already have it and the Mevo Start does, it's probably because the Mevo Plus won't get it. Just kind of a tip. So once again, if you're just tuning in here at Amazon Live, thank you. I'm Joe Capehart, the Senior Technical Specialist, and this is Will, also a Technical Specialist. And we want to know where you're from. Get your questions in the chat. Will's anxious to get answering. He wants a tough one, so please throw a curveball at Will. He needs one.
Keep me on my toes for sure.
Samuel says, can you integrate a webcam output from the Multicam app? I know this is definitely something that we've had suggested, definitely in our suggestion box. We do keep track of all of our feedback like this. That way we can progress and, like I said, build our apps, build our software, build our hardware for our users. So Samuel, thank you for the suggestion. Definitely something we'll continue to consider with Multicam. Beta, it is in beta, so you can currently give this kind of feedback and we can really take this directly to our developers. Our developers are in the group, and Samuel's from Phoenix, Arizona. Definitely hot over there. We're about to get smacked with some snow over here in New York.
Yes,
so
we're all very excited about it.
Yeah, I think most of us would rather be in Arizona right now to avoid that. So thank you for tuning in. Let's see here, and the ability to add the camera from the phone we are using. Actually, that's definitely a it's definitely
Highly requested.
I've heard that one a few times. A lot of people want to use the Mevo app. Not only multicam, they want to use the Mevo features, like the live editing features with their built-in camera. So once again, it's one of those things that's not currently on our roadmap, but we are always taking feedback directly from our users, and we really want to make sure that we take that feedback and build our products for you. It doesn't of course we have some opinions, but what really matters is yours. So definitely continue to let us know those things. Thank you, Samuel, for your feedback, your suggestions, and thank you. We appreciate it. So if you're just tuning in, we covering ways that you can stream for the holidays. You know, stay connected to family, friends, colleagues, loved ones, people you may not be able to communicate with otherwise, or maybe not just communicate, but physically be there. Things have changed significantly over the years. At least over the last year.
Definitely.
Not able to be in person for recitals, may not be able to have dinner with each other, opening up gifts with everybody. It's a bummer, but we use the Mevo Start, and we hope you can take advantage of the Mevo Start and stay connected through Zoom. Now, one huge thing is we are running out of time on Amazon.com for you to get your Mevo Start in time, or any of your Mevo accessories, whether it's the stand or if you're trying to get your hands on a PoE. We are running out of time for you to get those delivered before the holidays. So if your goal is to record or stream your event, or gift one to a loved one, or gift one to yourself, you're gonna want to make sure you take advantage of that as soon as possible so you can get your hands on your Mevo Start. So I did talk about a couple of the accessories just now, because it's not just the Mevo Start you're running out of time on, it's all of it. So one of the accessories that we highly recommend, of course, the Mevo does work wirelessly with the 6-hour battery life, which is awesome. It does work wirelessly, but for the most stability, for the most professional, and if you're trying to go into a situation where you want to make sure it works 100% of the time, interference isn't going to make a difference no matter what you introduce into the environment, you're going to want to get your hands on a PoE. So the PoE, you don't have to have a PoE enabled device to use your Mevo PoE adapter. The power Ethernet adapter allows you to run Ethernet and power simultaneously to your Mevo to give you Ethernet abilities and to make sure you're getting the fastest and most stable connection. Now, this is also available on Amazon.com. Looks like we have another comment. So Sway TV, oh sorry, I'm getting away from the microphone. I'm probably gonna get. Sway TV says, have you seen anyone attach a light to the Mevo? We have on the Mevo customer group.
So with a 3D printer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So there was, if you're not a part of the Mevo customer group, go check it out on Facebook. Our users share really cool stuff. There's a few users out there that are using a 3D printed mount that actually mounts, it kind of just sits on the top of the Mevo Start, and it gives you the ability to mount a light onto the top of it. And then of course, there are some like ring lights out there that you can screw the Mevo into that would technically connect the Mevo to the light opposed to the light to the Mevo, but still the same concept. Let's see here. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing where you're from, Samuel. If anyone else is in here who wants to share where they're from, we have people all over the Mevo Dear Lord. We have people all over the globe watching. So let us know where you're from. If you have any questions, we're going to continue to talk about the PoE. And actually, we're going to take the video directly from Scott, our head of electrical engineering. He is going to talk about the PoE and how it was made, show you some of the background story of the PoE. So take it from here, Scott.
So PoE stands for Power over Ethernet. It's an international standard that allows equipment to send both power and data over a common Ethernet cable. You could use PoE at, for example, when you want to mount your Mevo at a fixed location and you want to simplify your cabling by using just one cable, or at a setup where you just want, again, the simplicity of providing both Ethernet and power using that one common cable. So you can think of it in two this device. So for the power section, high voltage coming in from PoE, typically 37 to 57 volts, and convert that down to 5 volts. And we use a isolated DC to DC converter. I see a bunch of other equipment that we tear down during R&D phase that they skipped isolation. So we do that in our design to make sure that it's safe for users. So that's the power section. And for the data section, we use a Ethernet to USB chipset that allows Mevo to see the Ethernet network. All right, so the PoE adapter, from the first product, I guess, idealization to finally having it shipped to customers. We first thought about the product in June of 2019, and we first ship our first units in June of this year, 2020. So I'll show you some pictures here. We see some initial concepts of the PoE adapter, and in this concept, we try to follow the same pill-shaped form of the Mevo. And we realized that it's a little too big, went through a couple iterations, and in the next slide, you could see some 3D prints of the current form factor. So you can see the external device and also the internal circuit boards. The following slide, you can see a pretty early prototypes of the electronics inside. So we went through a couple phases of testing and hardware iterations. We get to the next slide where we presented during CES, and this one you probably noticed that it's a Pigtail Design. And the reason behind this decision was to include a cable so customers could use it out of the box. We also realized that many cables, USB-C cables on the market, are made differently, and some of them don't follow the spec. So that's why we wanted to include the cable. But quickly, we also realized this Pigtail Design puts weight on the USB-C port on the Mevo. Then we decided to change the design again during the iteration that will include a long USB-C cable instead of a pigtail. That way we don't put as much weight on the back of the Mevo. So again, next slide, you can see one of the pre-production version of the circuit boards. And then once we finalize all the circuits, hardware testing, mechanical and plastic housing, we went into production. Here in our Brooklyn operation, where the whole team kind of jumped in together and built and tested products and shipped them out to customers. And next slide, you can see one of our R&D, senior R&D engineer, Rich, here during PCB assembly and testing. And then finally, the product is packaged and ready for shipping. So you can buy it directly from us, Mevo.com, obviously, and we have a few retailers like Amazon, B&H, Guitar Center. You can find them on our website.
All right, thanks for that, Scott. That's actually a really cool video. I like to see how it's done.
Yeah, it is definitely a really neat behind the scenes look about where the PoE started and where it's at now. Now, a common misconception with the PoE is that the PoE, it's kind of a scary term, power over Ethernet. So you really don't actually need a power over Ethernet capable device. Now, you do if you want to use it at that capacity, but if you simply want to run Ethernet to your device, you can still do it without a PoE capable source. You simply need to introduce the power to, let's see if we can get over the headshot here so I can show you a little bit better. But you just need to introduce power here. So the cable that's provided with your Mevo Start can go in there, and then you can run an Ethernet cable here. And then on the other side, here we go, we've got a camera icon. And that means that this USB-C is going to go directly to your Mevo Start, and that cable comes with your PoE. So if you have a PoE-enabled device, all you need is the Ethernet going to that. But if you don't have a PoE-enabled device, you just need to add power as well. So you can still use this adapter to get Ethernet to your Mevo Start for the most stable connectivity. So you can get the Ethernet power adapter today on Amazon. Oh, I'm doing it the wrong way again. Terrible at this game. So you can get this right now on Amazon.com. Once again, the Ethernet power adapter, all Mevo products, no matter what it is you're running out of time to take advantage of it and getting it by the holidays. So if you're planning on it, if you're on the edge, you're not real sure what you want to do, you need to get on Amazon now to make sure that you get it delivered by time the holidays. And with we were talking about the snowstorm, right? So with holidays, and you already have an increase in shipments because of holidays, you also have weather delays. So you really need to make sure you grab what you need now. That way you can ensure you're going to get it by the holidays. There's just a lot of things that could, that are currently playing a part in shipping and delivery of all companies, not just Amazon, but definitely can take advantage of it today on Amazon. They're guaranteeing delivery by the holidays. So make sure you grab that sooner than later. So let's go ahead and recap on what we talked about today's show. What is the Mevo? So the Mevo is basically a very small, all-in-one camera. So this camera allows you to live stream, record, you can send it to your favorite platforms, you can introduce external audio, you can do everything wirelessly with your 6-hour battery life, you can use it as a webcam. It basically allows you to use a camera for anything you would want to use a camera for. So you don't need a separate webcam, you don't need a separate camcorder. You can use your Mevo for all of these things, whether it's a short video you want to share with your friends, or if it's a long form content, this is going to be able to cover your needs as the Mevo Start. Why you need it currently? Holidays. You need the holidays. You need to stay connected. His family's over in California. Mine's in Ohio. I mean, a lot of our families aren't nearby. I know specifically we want to use it to stay connected, whether it's with presents, as you mentioned, cooking. Right. Are you doing any cooking?
I am not doing any cooking. I will watch my family do some cooking.
There you go. Yeah, maybe Andrew will share some of his links so we can watch him cook. It'll be relaxing. Have some candles lit so we can smell some apple pie, although it's not in front of us. Nice. Kind of get the real full experience. So basically, the gist of everything is get a Mevo Start. Get connected, family, friends, loved ones that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get to your house to spend time with. You have to buy it now to get it in time for Christmas on Amazon. Remember, if you have any questions, you can always come back to our next live stream. We try to do a live stream every Tuesday in our Facebook groups, and then we try to come live every Thursday for Amazon Live, but currently we had to go live today because of weather. We didn't want to risk anything. Yeah. So as always, make sure you are subscribing, liking, following us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can find us at Mevo Camera.
And you can also, if you have any questions that we didn't answer on this show, please head over to the Mevo help section. That's help.mevo.com. And look for your answer there. And if you can't find it there, please open a ticket, and Joe and I will be happy to help you out. So as always, I'm Will Kirkpatrick.
And one more thing, There won't be any live streams for Amazon for the rest of the year just because of the holidays and everything. Just want to throw that out there real quick. Sorry for kind of cutting you off there, Will. So we will see you on Amazon Live next year. You could still find us on our Facebook groups. On Tuesday, we'll be going live. But as always, that's Will Kirkpatrick. I am Joe Capehart, and we will see you all on our next live stream.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.